Classic, not only online classic, actually. Between Magnus and Wesley So in the semifinals, that would be a very exciting match. So C4 played by Iturrizaga. And Magnus maybe struggling to find the game. Yeah, very impressive game. Yeah, one-way traffic. Yeah, you have the feeling that it's always like that. Yeah, you feel that Iturrizaga is a complete amateur. Yeah? And but not that. I mean, it's the impression it makes, but we are very, very far from the reality. Iturrizaga is just a very strong Grandmaster 2650 on 2650, and even better in Blitz. He's really good in Blitz, but I mean, this time he was crushed. In this Rosolimo, he didn't get really out of the opening. So I don't know. I don't know. What do you think, Carlsen? Chances of winning the World Cup? I really don't know. I don't know if I will bother him with such question today. It's hard to say because it's not easy. It's not easy. So, but he's a favorite. But you have seven matches to win. So it's a lot of troubles on the way. I mean, last time he lost to Boo in the third round. That was very early. But that's a great challenge. That's why he's trying. Why Magnus wait a lot? Magnus doesn't wait. Magnus doesn't wait. Magnus just probably doesn't find the game. And yes, very good point, Red Ribbon. If Magnus lost to Switzerland in Euro soccer, it means that Magnus might lose. It's possible, actually. It's possible that Magnus might lose a match in World Cup. That's everything is possible. After that, really, anything can happen in sport. That's what it means. Okay, so let's see. We'll see on the camera. So Magnus is trying to find the game. It's not always easy, of course. And he played. Okay, C4, knight F6, G3, C6. So Iturrizaga, I think it's his main repertoire, so he'll be well prepared. Oula, B5. This is just out of book. To put him out of book. Oh, this is not. It shouldn't be good. But it's taking some space. After all, White only played like C4, G3, Bishop, G2. So when White plays like that, it's always possible to do some B5, some early B5. And it's not easy to take advantage of this. A4, B4, and A5. Castle. Now he will try to harass this pawn on B4. So maybe first the knight on B3, maybe bishop E3, rook C1. Yeah, knight C6 makes a lot of sense. Bishop A6 is normal, just to protect, because if you go to B7, there's always A6, which is very unpleasant. A6 at least. You can go here. Sometimes you can pin, even if the rook, let's say, some scenario like that. Bishop B5, rook C1. Here you have some bishop A4 sometimes. Okay, the pawn was hanging as well, but just to show the idea. So now, but Iturrizaga has to play faster because he played bishop E3. In any case, I understand it's. I was one of the victims of Magnus. So I know it's always very impressive to play against Magnus, and he's playing well, he's playing fast, and it's a nightmare. But if you start playing slow as well, then it becomes just impossible task. So Queen D2. Okay, that makes a lot of sense to me. And he played reasonably fast. So this gives e5, d4 maybe. But e5, okay. This weakens a bit the light square. Let's say if you play d4, we'll just go bishop g5, we'll take here. And you see this bishop suddenly has an open diagonal, so you can even remove the queen, knight fd2, knight c4, you have some squares. Give some square. It's a beautiful center, but you have to be careful. Okay, so what to do with black? I don't like d4. He's thinking. It's not an easy position. Maybe rook c6 as well is in the air. Rook takes c6, just giving the exchange knight e5. So you have nice control. This pawn on a7 is always hanging. So this is very interesting as well. I don't know, e5 in a blitz game, then it's difficult to control. So he played d4. Bishop g5, e4. It was his calculations. Okay. Yeah, that's the difference between a world champion and myself. I didn't see e4 at all. And he was considering that, it's clear, since the start. After bishop b7, he has knight d2 now. And bishop d8, knight b3, bad news. This is a fork. So he's taking first on f6, which makes a lot of sense. If you take on f3 intermezzo, I just take here and take the pawn, and it's finished. And e3, wow! Magnus Carlsen. This is Magnus Carlsen. Okay, this is interesting. If bishop e7, takes here. This is not so clear. Actually, exchange up for white, but not so clear. And if he takes here, I guess you want to take, bishop f6, and you have some compensation, because rook e8, because the pawn b2, because the dark square around the king. So this is very interesting concept. And he played it at tempo, so he saw it. Actually, when he was calculating e5, he already saw that position here. This is completely clear. That here, he was already considering this pawn sacrifice. So what did Eduardo... so it seems that Magnus is in great shape. Queen d2, rook e8, this is beautiful compensations for the pawn. Okay, only this bishop on a6 is really misplaced. But you can't have it all. Otherwise, you are winning. Maybe bishop b5 to replace it, to now protect this knight on c6 with a bit hanging. King h1 and h5, AlphaZeresque move, h5, h4 against the king. Okay, first we have to take care of that one. I guess bishop b5. What else? I don't see any other squares. Okay, bishop b5 played. 1 minute for each player. Position is very unclear, but I would take black. To be honest, it's much easier to play. Okay, b1, that looks like a bad move. Okay, it's protecting here. It's obvious, this idea, but okay, it's giving back a pawn, which the engine didn't like because of 94. Well played. Threatening knight d6, threatening knight take f6. And if bishop e7, queen f4, and some attack. So it's not so clear. Wow, he's playing in style in that game. He takes, and now what does he want? It's beautiful. It's a beautiful exchange sacrifice, but it costs an exchange. So I mean, it's not. Of course, the bishop is on the way. He wants to play some endgame. Really? Wow. Queen d5. This is a good move. Eduardo playing really fast and creating troubles for the world champion. Let's see, taking a pawn. I would have gone for the endgame 100 times. Okay, that's weird to me. Take endgame and e5, and you open up the lines for your rooks. This is tricky. This is definitely too tricky. Bishop d3 here. It's a good move, apparently. Okay, you can take as well. And the knight is 97. Then you can take. I think it's just good for. Wait, queen d5. Yeah, he wants the endgame finally. If bishop d3, there is rook d1. This pawn is not hanging. Knight d6 is a good blockade. Now b3. I guess b3 is very reasonable. You just want to free this rook without losing the b2 pawn. b3 is played. Bishop c3, and now you have to maybe find something like that. It's not easy because the rook doesn't have too many squares. Rook c1, rook d1, I don't know, rook c1 is okay. a5, but how do you improve your position? Knight h3, oof, that's a long way. And knight f2 he wants. Knight f4, okay. Bishop b5, bishop f1, it's time scramble. 28 seconds for Iturrizaga, 12 seconds for Magnus Carlsen. King g7, but now it's winning. Objectively speaking, it's winning for white because it's an exchange and there is no pawns. And now rook c5 will come when the bishop will move. Rook c5 is or rook c7 first. Rook a7 he wants. Okay, that will be 1-1 is my guess. Takes b3. Okay, now we have to take care of that guy, but it's not such a big deal because the bishop is controlling the square on b1. Yeah, rook a6 is attacking the knight. And he wants rook b6. But bishop a4. So a5 first and then rook b6. I would probably get tricked in that position. Let's see. Eduardo, 12 seconds. Knight g1. Ooh, playing with fire. King d5. Knight f3. Some panic for Eduardo. It's not easy. It's not easy. b2. Rook b6 now. Threatening the pawn. And he wants to push. He will play rook b8. No, I don't know what he will play. Rook b3 is good. Ooh, rook b8, bishop b5. Oof. Bishop b1, bishop a5. He lost all his pawns. Oh, come on. We want, of course, I mean, like, I'm obviously voting for Magnus, but I want some kind of excitement. You know, I don't want this to be 5-0 and go to bed. Yeah, we don't go to bed anyway. There is Wesley against Li Kuang. He was winning. He missed it. It's a pity for Eduardo. Obviously, for now bishop b4 was threatening. I think he's going to lose that one. Just no, this is not good to give a check. Of course, it's very tempting because you give a check, you play one move. But this is just the king is getting closer to the pawn. King a3 seems. King a3 is still rook a7. He played bishop d4. Rook c4, king a3. This is game over. King a2, rook b4. He will play. It will be no king b3 now. This is over. G4, and you get. You can do anything. That was close.